Hi, boys and girls. I'm back again today to continue our story that we started on yesterday. Did you have an opportunity to think about your story? Well, I could not stop thinking about that story. I just kept wondering about Jamaica and what Jamaica was going to do now that her new friend had moved away. Okay, so let's get started. Again, today, boys and girls, we're going to look at the elements of our story. We're going to look at our characters, our setting, and the events to retell our story again in sequential order, beginning with the beginning, the middle, and the end. Our characters in the story, of course, we remember were Jamaica and Russell. The story took place where? Yes, it took place in the school. So we're going to look at the events again as well. Now, let's read the story. I always remind you, make a movie in your head as you listen to the story and as I read to help you to remember the events in the story. Okay, Jamaica's Blue Marker by Juanita Havel, illustrations by Anne Sibley O'Brien. Jamaica closed her eyes and thought about her picture. Mrs. Worth always said to think first, then draw. Jamaica opened her eyes and drew a tree on her big sheet of paper. Then she drew leaves falling off the tree and colored them yellow. Jamaica, Mrs. Worth said, could you please share your markers with Russell? He doesn't have any. He never has anything he needs, Jamaica thought. But she said, okay, even though she didn't want to share her markers with him. Russell brought his paper to Jamaica's table. He sat down beside her and grabbed her blue marker. Jamaica picked up her brown and orange markers to finish her picture. She didn't pay any attention to Russell. After a while, she peeked at his paper. Russell was making squiggly circles all over his page. We're supposed to draw a fall picture, Russell, Jamaica said. Who says? Mrs. Worth, don't you ever listen? I don't have to. Russell reached out with the blue marker and made a streak across Jamaica's picture. Russell, stop, Jamaica shouted. But Russell scribbled all over Jamaica's yellow leaf tree. Mrs. Worth, Jamaica cried. Russell wrecked my picture. Mrs. Worth hurried over to the table. Russell, did you do this? She held up Jamaica's picture. Mrs. Worth couldn't get Russell to say, I'm sorry. He had to go sit alone and work on spelling until art was over. Look what Russell did, Jamaica showed her father and brother when she got home. I tried, but I couldn't make another one as good as this. When she looked at the ugly squiggles, she had to swallow hard not to cry. Russell is a mean brat. Did you tell Mrs. Worth what happened? Her father asked. Jamaica nodded. Russell can't use my markers again. I shared them with him because he didn't have any. He never has what he's supposed to have. But that's no reason to be mean. No, her father said. Russell shouldn't have messed up your picture. The next time they had art, Jamaica was glad Russell didn't sit at her table. Then he couldn't bother her, and she didn't have to share her markers with him either. But at recess, Russell threw sand at her and chased two second-grade girls, so he had to go to the office. Before he came back, Mrs. Worth said, I would like to tell you something. Can you keep a secret? Yes, Jamaica shouted with her classmates. We're going to have a going away party for Russell on Friday. His father has a new job in another town. They will be moving over the weekend. I thought you might like to make cards to say goodbye. Then Russell will have something to remember us by. Mrs. Worth passed out paper. Then she showed everyone how to fold their paper into a card. Jamaica didn't want to make a card for Russell. She was glad that he was moving. Then he wouldn't bother her anymore. She put the paper in her desk. At supper, Jamaica said, I like living here. I like my house. I like my room and the tree in front of the yard. I like my school too. I'm glad you do, her mother said. I wouldn't like to move. Who said anything about moving? Ossie asked. Russell is moving, Jamaica said. Lucky you. He won't mess with your pictures anymore, Ossie said. I wonder how Russell feels about moving, Dad said. He might be upset. Has he talked about it? Russell doesn't talk about anything. He just gets in trouble, Jamaica said. Russell didn't come to the classroom on Friday morning. He was with his mother in the office. Jamaica looked at his empty desk. Next week, Russell would be gone. He wouldn't be at his desk ever again. She decided to make a card for Russell. She got out the blank card and her markers too. But just then, Mrs. Worth asked, Who are my helpers this week? Jamaica raised her hand. Jamaica, could you collect the cards and put them in Russell's desk? Brianna and Thomas, I'd like for you to clear the activity table for the plates and cups. Jamaica went from desk to pick up the cards. She put the whole stack in Russell's desk. As she closed his desk, Russell came in with his mother. The party started. They played games for a while and ate cake. Russell opened his desk and took out all the cards. Look, Mom, everybody made a card for me. Not everybody, Jamaica thought. She took the blue marker out of her marker bag. Then she ran up to Russell. This is for you, Russell. She handed him the marker. You can use it at your new school. But you might need it, he said. You like to draw. You draw the best pictures in the class. What if you have to color the sky? Someone will share with me. Thanks, he said. You're lucky. You get to stay here. Now Jamaica knew how Russell felt about moving. I wish you didn't have to move, she said. When Jamaica waved goodbye to Russell, she noticed that his mother was carrying his goodbye cards. Russell held up the blue marker and waved it as if he had won a prize. Goodbye, Russell. I'll miss you, Jamaica said, and she meant it. I hope you enjoyed that story, boys and girls. Now, let's look here. Here are some more books about Jamaica. Jamaica's Fine, Jamaica's Tag-Along, Jamaica and Brianna, Jamaica and the Substitute Teacher, Jamaica's Blue Marker, Brianna, Jamaica, and the Dance of Spring. Okay, let's think about how the story is organized. Our green triangle reminds us of what happened first in the story. Remember in the story, Jamaica was asked to share her marker with Russell because Russell didn't have a marker. And once Russell had that marker, remember, that Russell did something with that marker. Okay, then let's think about kind of what happened in the middle of the story. Okay, yes, you're right. Russell marked on Jamaica's paper. Yes, and Jamaica went home and she shared that with her family. Yes, she told her brother Ossie, she told her dad, and she talked to her mom about moving. Yes. Then in the story, the teacher asked the students to make Russell a card. Did Jamaica want to make Russell a card? No, you're correct. All right. Think about some other things that happened in the middle of the story. Remember at the last minute, Jamaica changed her mind and she wanted to make Russell a card, but it was too late because the teacher was asking her to collect the cards. And think, boys and girls, what happened at the end of the story? Okay, remember at the end of the story, just as Russell was getting to leave, Jamaica gave him something. Yes, if you're correct, she gave him a blue marker. You are right. All right, let's think a little bit more about the story. Let's think about the characters in the story, boys and girls. The main characters in the story were, yes, you are correct, Jamaica and Russell. Where was the setting in the story? Yes, the setting took place at school. And again, what was the main problem in the story with Jamaica's blue marker? Yes, that Russell had marked on Jamaica's paper, and Jamaica was very upset in the story. Yes. And if there's a problem, remember we always have a solution. Someone reminded me that there was also another problem in the story. And that problem was also with Russell. That Russell was angry because he was moving, or he was upset because he was moving. Yes, you're very good listeners. If you have a problem, there must be a solution. So what happened at the end of the story? Yes, Jamaica now understood why Russell was upset, and she gave him her blue marker as a going away gift at the end of the story, because earlier she was angry and she didn't make him a card, but she was able to give him something as a going away gift, and they became friends. Okay, again, boys and girls, these are the stories about Jamaica. And you can also find Jamaica's Find if you ask an adult to help you to look for that story on the internet. You will be able to click on the story and listen to it. And last, we have an activity that you can do at home with your family. You will need to get an adult to help you with this, to print it out, or you can just get a piece of paper. Now, remember in the story, the teacher reminded the students that they need to think before they draw. Well, in this activity, I'd like for you to think before you draw. Here, I want you to draw the characters in the story. Think about who the characters were in the story. Have fun drawing. I also want you to think about something that happened in the beginning of the story. I want you to think about something that happened in the middle of the story. And I want you to think about something that happened at the end of the story. Boys and girls, I've enjoyed our lesson today. I hope you have fun, and I'll see you again. We miss you.